Hey, how's it going? My name's Dylan, and this is my new channel called Vinyl in the Wild. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a while. I'm pretty inspired by a few YouTubers. One in particular, Happy Console Gamer. He does a lot of videos on video games in particular, but the way that he speaks about his memories and his experiences with video games, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here with records and music. Now, little backstory on myself. I come from a lot of different kinds of music. My dad, he was in a thrash metal band back in the 90s. My mom, she's into the best kind of music you can imagine. And she took me to some great shows. From the time I was a little kid, we saw Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, mainly them. Like, we saw them a lot. And ever since I was a kid, the Beatles were my main band, and I find myself gravitating towards them more and more as I grow up. I'm 26 now. I got into the Beatles when I was probably, one of my first experiences was listening to the song Octopus's Garden, and that was just such an incredible first music experience, just to hear that song and to hear those guitar riffs and, Ringo's voice. At the time I didn't know who he was, but it was just blew me away. And I think a lot of Beatles fans can say the same thing when they first heard the band, because there's something so incredible about that group that keeps people wanting more and more year after year. Like, we just had the announcement of the US box set that's coming out, which is really cool. I'm gonna probably get my hands on that. I should also mention I work at a record store in New Jersey, Jack's Music Shop. If you're in New Jersey, come by. I'm there every day that we're open. Anyway, just a bunch of rambling so far, but I just really want to make this channel just free thought process, and whatever comes to my head I want to put out there, and I'm going to go into detail about what I want to do with this channel in a sec, but I just want to thank whoever's watching this right now, and I want to thank my fiance Julia for recording this right now. It's behind the camera. It's a very different experience for me. But anyway, I'm going to start this channel off with a little overview of some of my records that I love, some of my sought-after records. I guess sought after meaning whatever that means. Like records that people might think that they're rare, or records that mean something to me. Whatever, it's a vague definition, but I'm gonna go over that in a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna do a lot of Beatles stuff. There's gonna be a lot of Beatles. Anyway, starting off, Meet the Beatles, a record that a lot of people were introduced to, even though it's not technically the first record. It was a big deal back in the day. This is a Scranton, PA copy of the record. For those of you who don't know, there were US pressings and UK pressings, and then variations of said pressings all around the world. This was a US pressing that came out in the early 60s. I'm not good with dates, so that's another thing. I'm not good with dates at all. But this album, this pressing that I bought it at a place called Revilla Grooves in Milltown, New Jersey, and it's just such a clean copy. And it wasn't even that bad of a price. And I'm just so stoked to own this, because it's just such a beautiful copy of this record. The vinyl is basically like new. It's like, I don't know if you'd see it, but it's like new. I could only imagine getting one of these back in the day when it first came out. It looks like this. Next one I want to talk about is A Hard Day's Night. Now, when I first got into the Beatles, this album was really big for me. Now, this is a Parlophone EMI pressing of the record. It's in stereo. I believe that this was a later pressing. It has the black Parlophone label, so it's not the original yellow label. But anyway, I'm trying to get into collecting the Parlophone records. That's what hopefully a lot on this channel is going to be, me finding that stuff in the wild. Because I have a lot of the US records, but not a lot of these. From the time I was a kid, I just loved this cover so much. There's just something about it, just the way that they're making the faces and the contrast of the blue and the red. It's just, I don't know, I just love that cover so much. I love it a lot more than the US cover. But for some reason on the US cover, it's a red cover, which I'll overlay a picture of it here. And I like the way it looks when the stereo label is over top, but not without it. I don't know, my brain's just weird. But anyway, when I was a kid, I watched this movie and I listened to the album a lot. My uncle would play it in the car a lot, and the songs were just echoing in my brain. I should have known better, If I Fell, and I Love Her. It's just such an amazing record. So this is another one that I want to talk about. I'm really, really obsessed with the Yesterday and Today records. This is a Mexico pressing, as you can see right here. And the back cover is different than the US pressing. There's a lot of videos on the history of this record. If you can see right here, I'm going to take it down. This is an original Butcher cover. There's history online, you can look it up. I'll just go into little detail about it. The cover was disgusting. It was a photo shoot, an avant-garde photo shoot that they did, and they decided to release this in the USA, and it was recalled for obvious reasons. I'm not sure which state this is. There's first state, which means it was original. Just This Slick was on the record, and that's the first state. There's second state, which they pasted this over it, and you can see a V here for Ringo's collar. There's a V underneath, if you could kind of make you know, that connection there. And then there's third state, which is a peel. If you peel the this off of this, it's a third state. So this looks like a very good peel, if anything. I know that there's some markings here, and it looks like there's some residue there, but to be honest, it looks like it could be a first state. I don't really know. I have no clue. This is my third copy of this that I've owned, the Butcher cover. I sadly sold 2 of them just because, you know, times are tough. But this is the best looking one that I've had, and I'm just super, super happy to own this. It's like literally my favorite piece of history. Sgt. Pepper. This is a Portuguese pressing. The only real difference is it's a, let me see. Yeah, it's Parlophone, so it has that yellow label there, but this was just a Portuguese pressing, stereo. I found this at a record store called Scotty's Record Shop in, is it Springfield? I don't know, but we're gonna go there tomorrow, so you'll see a video. This does not come with a poster. I'm not sure, or not the poster, the cutouts with the mustache and all that. This is just a very kind of flimsy version of Sgt. Pepper. I have, I think, 5 copies of this record. This is the flimsiest. And it is cool that it's a Portuguese pressing, but, you know, I just thought it was cool to have in this record. I used to look at the cover for hours and hours and just lose my mind looking at all that. And the Paul is Dead rumors with the left-handed bass here. There's a car that's on fire going back to where Paul died in a car crash. And there's the doll looking at the fire. What else? Oh yeah, 1X He Die, if you put the mirror up to that. It's just crazy. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's the White Album. You can either have a copy of this that's something you could just find anywhere, or one that means something more. This one just so happens to be a really low number. They put the numbers of the pressings down here. This is 966,818. It goes up into the millions, so it's a lower number that I've seen. I've never seen one with the 0 in front of the second number there. So that's pretty cool. I need to get a copy that has the pictures of them and the poster. I have like 4 copies of the White Album and none of them do. So maybe I'll track one of those down. This one is really cool. We went to Philadelphia the other day. Funny story. It's not that funny. It really kind of sucks. We were supposed to see Ringo Starr at the Mann Center in Philly, and he sadly, and I feel so bad, I hope he's okay, but he was sick, and I'm really, you know, I really hope he's okay. But we had 3rd row seats, and we were gonna go see him, and it just, last minute we're in Philadelphia and the show got canceled. I was like, oh my God. Because I really wanted to see a Beatle live. I've never seen one before. You have. You've seen Paul. But yeah, it's just crazy how life works sometimes. I even wore like a cool shirt and everything. We were, you know, whatever. But we went to the Philadelphia Record Exchange and I tracked this down. It's the Beatles Alpha Omega bootleg, and it just has a bunch of songs from their solo career. And you know what? I think this one, yeah, has songs from their solo career, but I have a CD version of it that has a lot more songs from the solo careers. But this is just such a cool little box set of vinyl. It's just, you know, finding this there, I didn't expect to find it, so been looking for this one for a while. It's a really cool piece. There's another one I got from Scotty's record store, 20x4, really cool bootleg. They released a lot on this label. Say Ruthless Rhymes Limited. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the dog with the gun up to his head. It's just crazy. But I have a few. Close up on that? Yeah, I have a few bootlegs that have this label. It's just really well made. I don't know, it just caught my eye when I saw it. And it has some cool songs on it. A different version of Things We Said Today, that's great. Live version from John Lennon's Imagine. Yeah, they just put a lot of random stuff on these bootlegs. And this bootleg here, it has the Butcher cover on it. this is I've seen this online for weird amounts of money. I found this one out. I don't really remember where I got this from, but it's supposed to be a play on the Rarities album title, but it's called Casualties, and it just has some weird songs on it, you know, like a different version of I Am the Walrus, Only a Northern Song, which is such a great song. Yes It Is, that's another great song. But yeah, that's a cool one. So Julia, who's behind the camera right now, just got me this. Surprised me out of the blue, and we have the box and everything, like the huge box. We have the drums, we have the Hofner bass, we have the vocals. It's just, I remember when this game came out. It was 2009, 9909. That's how I remember. And my birthday is October 21st. So I asked for an early birthday gift, and my family got me the big box set of this on the Xbox 360. And I remember just playing the hell out of that game. I played it so much, and I didn't realize until now how loud the drums were, so I probably annoyed my family a lot. Now I'm annoying our upstairs neighbors, but you know, it is what it is. It's just such an amazing game, and if you've ever played it, you know how amazing it is, because they did everything you could possibly do in a video game based on the Beatles and more. And it was directly involved with Paul and Ringo and Yoko. So, you know, they had say over what was going on in the game, and their mannerisms, the guitars. They did, I believe, different mixes of the songs. I think that they unearthed the different tracks from each part, you know, like if you fail one of the songs or if you don't play the drums, you can only hear the guitar, bass, and the vocals, and so on. Like each track is its own track. So that's really cool. Yeah, it's just such a great game, and maybe we'll do another video just on this. But yeah, that's just some of my Beatles stuff. If you can tell, we're like obsessed with them. For good reason. I love this here. It's one of my favorite pictures ever. That's how I feel on a daily basis. Yeah, so this is just the first video I'm gonna do. Hopefully you liked it. We're gonna be making a lot more videos in the future. Not just Beatles stuff. That's the main focus of this channel. It's gonna be Beatles stuff because that's my fixation. Hopefully you can come with me on my journey finding these records that I want to find. And for me, it's not necessarily the rarity of the records per se. It's just whatever speaks to me when I see it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video. Thanks so much, and have a great day.